Say, Tony.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Long time.
Long time.
I've ordered for Tichinga. Did they arrive?
maybe it will come summertime.
Oh, okay. Just in case.
Just in case that it doesn't come summertime. Find some.
Yeah, it will be intercepted somewhere between the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
They'll wait for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher are done.
I know you heard your name.
Hey, how are you?
Mm-hmm. So when it is 4 o'clock, then I think that about 20-something people signed up. Right.
So it's two. Two on the left and the one without the cap. It's a 2. E L 5 E J 4 7 JS. Oh.
Okay, so we will start in the next 2 minutes.
Somebody will stop doing what the way somebody
Tony, Letitia said in Wada. And I was all night.
Sadiq, leave me alone. Okay.
She's sleeping, talking.
Enemy of progress.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
But just in case she should wake up for us.
That is it.
We need her.
So she has to make a speech.
Yes.
Yeah, Monko Ayo. Monfre Mo president. Ekufuado.
So Letitia, it is 4 o'clock. Can you? It is 4 o'clock now, so let us start. Can you say something?
Tony, why do you do that?
We want you to deliver the I Have a Dream speech by Martin Luther King.
Tony is the host.
I am not.
Tony, we will let him give the speech. This guy speech, the Russian president. So nice. It's like some people are joining from their homes, which is impressive, right?
So there were people that said that they were going to be in the classroom in person. Then at least one one person said that they will join online. So yeah, the expectation was that we all be in a one classroom so that whatever that we discuss.
Yeah, if this is going to go on, then we will start sending the food and stuff.
Yeah.
So we don't waste the resources on that, because it doesn't make sense when we say we're gonna be there in person and we are not there, and then we are buying food and all those stuff just to accommodate you guys.
Okay. So teacher, if you have just helping us, we haven't had this in some time now.
Yeah. Well, good morning, everyone. Our leaders in Ejura, our teachers. Good morning. Happy New Year. I know some of us we've talked on the WhatsApp group. That's for Musa and is it Collins? Yeah. Thank you guys for leading, and Romeo. Thank you, Prof. Thank you guys for leading, and we have our Professor Joshua also here, and Uncle Tony. Thank you guys, and Sadiq. It's exciting to start again this year, 2023. And like I said this year, our goal this year is more for hands-on approach, for you guys to have more interactive learning. And so the Google Classroom has been, I would say, reactivated. Joshua, myself, and Tony, and also Prof, we're gonna put in some coursework on the platform, and then interactive videos and stuff for you guys to work on. And I'm going to beg, I know you guys have so many stuff going on in your individual lives, but this is practical, and therefore we need you to also try and submit your assignments and stuff. This is how we will know that we are actually helping in some capacity when it comes to your development as a teacher, right? So with that being said, thank you to everyone for the time. And I'm glad that some of you brought your laptops and stuff. And today is just to recap what we have learned last year when we started the training and stuff, especially the computer systems, all the components in the computer systems and stuff. And we will have a course assignment on Google Classroom on you labeling those computer stuff. And so Uncle Tony will be taking the lead, and then I know Mr. Josh also have something. So I will end here. And above all, we are all not PhD holders. We are all not, yes, we know what we are doing in some capacity, but we are all learning. And therefore, if there's anything that you think you want to learn, please text me or Uncle Tony or Joshua, and we will do our very best to bring it. I know you guys have shared the curriculum with us. And so this year, we are going by the school curriculum, right? To start engaging you guys on those stuff. What I would say is that some of the stuff, honestly, in all humility, they are not practical when it comes to the resources that are available in Ghana to teach those things. Some of them require more tech stuff on the ground to help you guys understand. But nevertheless, we would try to find different ways to improvise. Like all that robotic stuff and all those things. If you don't have a robot and all that, it's like I really, but we are going to try to help you guys to understand the concepts, and where there's an online interactive learning and stuff, we will connect you guys to those stuff. So please the Google Classroom, let it be your friend. And as we are learning and you are learning how to use all those things, all those app or applications, you can now transition yourself into even getting your student on there or something along the way. Okay. The goal is to help you learn these things, to teach your students and even your children and your community and stuff. So this is what knowledge transfer. Whatever we are pouring into you is not only for you, it's for your family, it's for your children, it's for your students and your community. So let's also be generous when it comes to sharing information of what we have acquired through this ICT learning and stuff. If anybody have any question or comments, I will hear. Thank you. Tony, then over to you.
So thank you, Letitia, for opening the ceremony for us. So most of you guys on here know exactly what we are planning to do, and she said it all. So we started, even though the curriculum that you gave us, the curriculum says a whole lot, but some of the things you have to start from the foundation. We have to start from the foundation, and the foundation is the key. So over the past couple of months that we have been going through the computer. What is the computer? And because we had a break, we were going to do the hardware side, knowing what the computer is and the component of the computer. Then from there, we go to the software side of it. Then we were bringing understanding what Microsoft Office is. But because that we had some break, about what the computer is, the part and the functions of the computer. Because that, yes, we finished, we had some break. So what I want us to do now is to try to do like a revision, to remind, give us, go back to go over on the things that we learned a couple of months ago. And I believe that most of you guys on here took those classes. So first of all, we are going to go back to look at the functions of the computer. What are the functions and part of the computer? This one is just a revision. This is a revision. Then before we jump more into this, the software side, which we'll be talking about, the Microsoft Office suite, right? So before we go, let us bring into like a quick revision. We said that the computer, the part of the computer and their function. So going over the part of the computer and their function will help us understand what. You can come off mute. So going on the computer and its function, what is it going to do to us? You can come off mute, then just talk. This is our revision and discussion. Yeah, you can come off mute. Yeah, Musa, if you are saying something, we can't hear you.
Okay. You asked the question, right?
Yeah, I'm saying that right now we have to go back and just go a revision on all the things that we learned before we get here, so that our people's mind will be refreshed for the next thing that we are going to do. So that's why I asked that, okay, we talked more intensely about the part of the computer and its function. We went through a couple of weeks before we finished that class. before we went for that break, right? So knowing the part and function of the computer, what will you do to you?
So I mean, we started looking at the components inside the system unit the last time
Yeah.
we met.
Mhm.
And so we talked about the major hardware devices inside the system unit.
Go ahead. So we talked about the major hardware inside the system unit. And
So
yeah,
starting from the motherboard,
correct.
and we said the motherboard is the board that connects all the other parts of the computer, the system unit together. That gives it a base for intercommunication between the components of the computer.
Okay. Anyone else over there? Anyone else too can bring a contribution? Yeah. If not, I will take some time to go through certain things with us. That knowing, you see, knowing what the part is good, right?
Yes.
But we will try to explain each part, which will give us the firm understanding of what each part does. So this one would just take one class to just go through it so that it can give us this like a refresher course. So I remember when we first started, we were talking about the part, and one of the important part of the computer is this guy right here. Right?
Yes.
The computer case. I know that people might think that it's not important, but if all your whatever that you have is just outside, there's nothing to house it or to protect it, correct? So the case is also important, right? The case of the computer is important. What does it do? In our own words, what does the case do? What do you think the case would do? Huh?
So the case generally is to protect the other hardware component that are found within the system unit itself.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Is to protect it.
Also.
So I told when we first started, I told you that the case have different, we have different sizes of cases, right? And the case depend on the size of the motherboard. The case depend on the size of the motherboard. So the other time that when we were doing this, let me share something that we will come back to the case. When we were doing this, I shared something with you guys about this, my best friend over here. I'm coming to share my best friend with you. Oh, my best friend broke, but I'm going to get it up. I have another best friend here. I have so many best friends. So let me do this one and let me show you. I thought that I took it out, but let me. So it is 2 and 1. Okay. So 2 and 1. So we had this, right? So we talked about the motherboard and the case, the size of the motherboard, right? So this guy is also a case. You see, this thing is a case that holds the motherboard. and this is a computer, right? This is a computer that I'm holding now. It runs a program called the Linux, right? It runs a program called the Linux. This is a computer, right? And see how big the computer is. So which means that I can go around with this computer in my pocket. I can go around it. All what I need is a HDMI to connect to a bigger screen to see what is happening. You see that it also has the fan. It has a heat sink, right? So this is a computer. And this one is called the Raspberry Pi, right? Raspberry Pi. There's another one that I can also set it up. That let me show you. So all these things, right? All these things is part of this is the case. This is the motherboard. So the size of the case depend on the motherboard. Of course, you can't use this motherboard and put in a big case. How are you going to lock it up? Right? So this is what we are saying. I will also get one more and show it to you. So when it comes to cases like what the other guy said, cases are there to protect all the internal components of the computer, or the internal component of the computer. So we went forward to talk about what the case is. So the case is normally designed to fit the motherboard. That is one of the things that you have to put in mind, that the computer case is designed to fit the motherboard, the wiring, and the drives. When I say the drives, when we start going in our revision, we start looking at how the SSD drive, the ADD drive. So some of the cases, they have different shape, form, different things on the case. And example is I wanted to show you some of the cases, but the case is very important. The case is very important. The case one is designed to fit the motherboard, So if you are putting your computer together, if you want to go buy those parts and build your computer, you have to think about, hey, this is my motherboard. This is the motherboard that I want to get. What case should I get for that motherboard? Okay. Then we want to go talk about the motherboard. Right? We talked about the motherboard as Musa gave the explanation. So this is the motherboard. And Musa gave an explanation of what the motherboard is. And we'll go through the motherboard, right? We'll go through the motherboard because the motherboard is an interesting piece of the puzzle in here. So we are going to go through it, and I'm going to share my screen, if you don't mind. Yeah. Okay, can you all see my screen? We can all see, right? So this is the motherboard. This is the motherboard, and as we can see, most of the size of the motherboard, this is the one that faces the computer at the back if you have a tower. So what Musa said something about the motherboard, about it is the what? It is where everything connects to. Anybody can also give me an explanation of what the motherboard is. What the motherboard is. You can come off mute. You can come off mute and say something. What is a motherboard?
You are asking of what a motherboard.
What is a motherboard? I think this class, Musa will teach this class. So yeah, so Musa, we are ready for you.
Yeah, Mr. Tony.
Yeah, I said that this class, yeah, you have to teach this class. So we are ready for you. So you take over.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So I take over. Musa, you see, as soon as I said that, they said, yeah, we had a yes, we agree. So
Well, a teacher need prior preparations before, but I will take it.
okay, so so we have the motherboard in front of us, right?
Okay.
So we are waiting for you to tell the class that what is the motherboard and
Yeah, what I can say about why is it different? The motherboard. Yeah, hello. So it's getting now. So what I wanted to put across is the model consists of other components in the system. Yeah, that's what we have the heat sink and other stuff. Yeah.
oh, okay. Okay. Any other contribution or any other comment on it? So you have a picture of the motherboard in front of you. So this
The motherboard is a board on which components are fixed on it for better communication.
okay. So the word is
It is on the motherboard that other important components are fixed so that they can intercommunicate between each other with the help of the motherboard.
okay. Okay, that is good. That is also any other person.
Just to add up something small.
Oh, go ahead.
And because of what Musa said, we'll just put it in the summary form. So the motherboard serves as the backbone of the entire system unit.
Okay.
But that is supporting those small elements that we see from the screen.
Okay.
Without the motherboard, probably most of the elements will not be able to function well.
Function well, correct. Okay. So what you said, what you said is true about the motherboard. That the motherboard is the main board, right? All other cards, everything else plugs directly to the motherboard. So the CPU, which will get the CPU, the RAM, the drive, the power supply, and more are all connected to the motherboard. So like what you said, that each function is to make sure that all the components are able to come together and are able to communicate and operate together, right? They are able to communicate. So which means that if there is let's say that there is a printer connected and the printer sent a message. That printer is connected to the motherboard. So it is able to send a message, and through the USB, it can be able to communicate with, send it back to the CPU. It can be able to communicate with every component in there that, hey, I want to do this, right? So that each component that is connected to the motherboard can work together, right? So it is where everything is connected. So without the motherboard, the computer won't do it. Without the motherboard, the
computer cannot function.
The computer cannot function. And without the motherboard, you don't have a functioning computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, without the motherboard, because the motherboard itself contains the most how do you call it, the most part that is needed for it to function. So without the motherboard, how can you connect your monitor? Without the motherboard, how can you connect? So the motherboard is a key, right? And if your motherboard, there's something happening to your motherboard, because the motherboard looks like when you take the motherboard and look at the motherboard, it's like you are looking at a city. You are looking like from the plane. You see, it doesn't look like a city.
Miami,
Not.
Yeah, it look like a city with roads and buildings and buildings all over and stadium. Look at this one. That looks like our class 4 stadium. Right? Look at this. So they all, when you pick it up, they all look like a city with roads. It's a circuit board. And all these things, all the circuit leads to and talk to each other on the board. So if you want to have a good motherboard, right? A good motherboard offers a wide amount of connectivity option. So if you want to get a good motherboard, it has to have a whole lot of connectivity option. And the more the option that you get on that motherboard, the more money that you pay. Right? The more option on that motherboard, the more money that you pay. So it will give you the option to have maybe 4 inputs. It will give you the option to have different things. But the more options that you get, the more money that you pay. Right? It allows the components, right, that is connected to operate efficiently. That is the key, efficiently. Right, and in its full potential. So when you see, like if you connect something to the motherboard and it drags itself, oh, this one is not, the communication is not getting there as quick as possible. So some of us will say that, hey, my computer can be running slow, or we have to increase the RAM. Right? So the motherboard also have their sizes. There's a big motherboard, there's a small motherboard, and motherboards have their own dimensions. Motherboards have different dimensions. So on this guy right here, we will be talking, because the motherboard is a key in the key factor of what we want to talk about. Because without the motherboard, there's no computer. It is just how do you call it? Ideal make can. So when you see my screen, there's something that I want us to look at over here called this man right here. And I want us to turn this and look at it very well. You two, I'm turning you and I don't know where you are going. Let me lift it up a little. Can we all see? So we are going to talk about this guy, right? So Musa, what is this guy called?
The CPU.
The CPU. The CPU. This guy is called the CPU. So since you said that the guy is called the CPU, what is the full meaning of CPU and what does the CPU does, Musa? This is your class, so I am just here to talk about it.
Yes, Tony, that is true. I agree.
Yeah.
What I can say about the CB
Yeah. Oh, we couldn't hear you.
I said what I can say about the CPU is central processing unit. Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I said what I can say about the CPU is central processing unit.
Okay. So central processing unit, what does it do?
What I know about the CPU is I think it does a lot of work in the computer system. So the brain behind the computer, or the brain in the computer is the CPU. It does a lot of what processing, or it does a lot of work in the computer.
Okay. So which is good. Which is good. So that is the, like what he said, it is the brain of the computer. And I like when you say that it is the brain, right? So when it is the brain, let's take the us for instance. Our brain does what? Processing. Sometimes if you are going to do something, you want to what? Think about it and process it. So it is the brain of the computer. So all the components of the computer connect on the motherboard, and the motherboard has the brain. So just as you as a person, you have your hands, your head, your leg, and everything connect into the brain, the functions, right? That if you want to throw your hand, there's something that has to go to your that information has to be communicated to your brain for it to process so that you can throw your hand, right? If you want to sit, you want to, all those things are communication. What it takes, that communication, that information from the RAM, and it process it, right, to perform the task that is what required. So there are so many tasks that goes on in the computer, as my man said, right? That there are so many things, because remember that the computer has a whole lot of, the motherboard has a whole lot of things connected to it. On that same motherboard that we are talking about is the main board. That motherboard has the brain of the system attached to the motherboard. So there is no way that you can have the brain, the CPU, sitting somewhere, right? The CPU sitting somewhere. If it was us that they took our brain out, what will you do? Right? So the CPU has to be part of the motherboard so that everything that connects it can what? The brain can take that information and process it so that the task that is required is done. We understand?
Yeah.
And it is called the CPU. And the last time that we were talking about this, that don't go to a place and tell the person that, oh, you have seen a tower over there, and you are telling the person that this is a CPU. You understand? Because right now, when you tell a person that, oh, the computer that is there is the CPU, and the person is there, oh, how can you see the CPU while you are sitting right on the, so we don't call the tower the CPU, right? So sometimes as we get knowledge, we also have to change the way that we use certain words, right? Oh, some people can say, oh, bring the CPU. In other words, they are trying to tell you that bring the computer, right? Oh, some people will call it the what? The system unit, right? Some people will call it a tower. But as soon as you say that will bring the CPU, it means that you don't know what you are talking about. And we don't want as students or as teachers to go tell somebody to bring the CPU. And before you realize they have taken the screwdriver, taking the computer apart to bring the CPU out, right? So the CPU over here, if you are looking at my screen, the CPU sit and the sit is over here, right? This CPU under normal circumstances has another device that we call the heat sink sitting on top over here of the CPU, right? The heat sink sits on top of the CPU. So in other words, what is the heat sink doing over here? Musa, I'm ready for you.
Yeah, the heat sink, right? The function of the heat sink is that it absorbs the heat generated from the CPU, or it cools the CPU for it to function well.
It does what?
I said it absorbs the heat that is generated by the CPU, because the CPU works a lot, and I'm sure it generates some amount of heat, and therefore it is there to absorb the heat or cool the CPU for it to function well.
Okay, that is good.
So what I can also add is, like human beings' brain works a lot. So there is a time that you have to relax and do this thing. So the heat sink also help heat to escape from the CPU. Yes.
Okay.
That's what I can add.
Okay. So yeah, I'm happy that you brought that as human beings as a shit. Hey, you'll be going round na Charlie. My wado, like Asaya Shibucha, right? Because if you are processing something, the thing is not processing. If on the normal time, right? I maybe we'll do that test maybe later. That we will actually open one of the computers over there, then remove the heat sink, then turn the computer on and see how hot the heat sink will be, right? You will see how hot the heat sink is going to be. So we will do that one maybe on you guys your own time. You can take a PC that is not working, that has a CPU inside, that you can turn it on. When you turn it on,
Hello, Mr. Tony.
yes.
You have to reverse small because we had some interruptions here.
Oh, okay. No, what I was saying is that when we get time on your own time, If you have a computer that you have opened, right? We are going to take the heat sink out. When you take the heat sink out, let the CPU still be connected, and you turn the computer on. When you turn the computer on for like maybe, don't leave it on for a long time, just 1 minute. When you are done, turn it off, then touch the CPU. You will see that within a minute, you will see that this CPU is going to just move from a small heat to a it's very, it just becomes so hot, right? The CPU becomes so hot. So the heat sink over there try to what? Cool down the CPU. And sometimes when you look at how a heat sink look like, a heat sink would look like what? A normal heat sink look like a fan that is blowing a metal, right? So there's a fan on top of a metal or by the side of the metal that the fan is blowing air through the metal that will make the metal cold. And the cold metal sitting on top of the CPU start cooling down the CPU. We understand?
Yes.
Yes, start cooling down the CPU. Anybody have anything to say? Mr. Joshua or anybody have anything to say?
I want to find out the fan.
Yeah.
Is it really, to cool down or to also blow out maybe some dead particles from the CPU?
Yeah, you see, when you look at the computer, right? There are certain fans on the computer.
Yeah.
There are certain fans on the computer that try to what? Cool the whole system because everything is running. And there's also a heat sink, right? There's also a heat sink. Let me look for a heat sink and I'll show you how our heat sink does. I thought I had one in this office here, but unfortunately, not knowing that I don't. I wanted to show you the heat sink. We have the heat sink and the fan. Heat sink, where are you? Coming in cooler. Okay. So, can you see my screen?
Okay.
What do you see?
Yeah, we have seen it. Yeah.
So, do you see a heat sink?
Yeah.
Do you see it? So you see this metal over here, and you see the fan. So it will be blowing this. This look like what? A fridge top. It look like something behind a fridge, right? So this fan blows this to cool the system. There's also a fan that is in. There's a fan too that is normally we attach it to the case. That its job is to what? Try to suck the hot air out. We understand? So yeah, so like the question that you said, yes, there are certain fans over there that its main job of that fan is to try to take the cold air out. We understand, right? Let me take this down. Then, so that is the part of the heat sink. That is the part of the heat sink. Some people will call it what? The cooler, right? Some people will call it the cooler. Yeah.
Please, can I ask a question about
Yeah, go ahead.
About the heat sink and the fan?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean the heat sink and the fan also perform the same function?
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, they are all trying to do what? Cool the system, right? So let me put this one here and for you to see what is happening. Stop sharing. What is, if you can see, you see what is happening, right? So you see, there's this fan over here that the guy is installing. There's another fan where with the heat sink, right? So this fan is blowing to cool down, to cool these metals over here. That will end up cooling the heat, right? There's another fan over here that the guy's hand is on it. That its job is also try to what? Take the air out, the hot air out. So at the end of the day, both fans, right? Both fans are trying to cool the system. Did I answer the question?
Yes, it's answered.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the job of both fans is to make sure that the system is not cooling. It's not hot. And anytime that your CPU or the system overheat, there's a problem. It's overheat. Number one, the system will not function well, right? If the system overheat, it will not function well. That one, I don't care whatever that you say. You as a person, so you overheat. Sometimes if you are so yes, you don't know, you don't function right. Well, right, you don't function right. So you don't want your heat sink, or you don't want your computer or the CPU to be what? To be overheating. That one, you don't want to do that. Because if the CPU overheat, the system will start shutting down. Do you understand? So number one, you don't want it to overheat. So my question is that, let's say that you have all the components in there, and somebody find a way to take the CPU out. Will the computer function?
Tony, please, your question again.
All the components are connected, but only the CPU is out. Will the computer still function?
Oh,
The computer will not function.
Why?
because that is the brain of the computer. So if the brain is out, how does the computer work?
So you are saying that if the brain is out, how would the computer work?
Yeah.
So if the motherboard is out, would the computer still turn on?
Like, come again. Because the mother,
If the CPU is out, if you take the CPU out and you turn on the computer, will the computer turn on?
No. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of myself.
Anybody can help.
Mr. Tony, please, you initially asked about the CPU, but I don't know, you were trying to talk about the motherboard itself.
No.
As to whether if it is moved out from the case.
No, I'm saying that
That's not this CPU.
if the CPU is if the CPU is
No.
out, right? If the CPU is out and you turn on the computer, right? Would the computer come on?
Yeah, what I can say is it will be turned on by in terms of processing any document or processing the computer to work. The computer will not work. But for it to turn on, it will turn on.
Thank you. So it will turn on. But in terms of what? Communication, in terms of processing, the brain is not there. Computer now bottom. Right? The brain is not there to process certain things. Right? Yes, sir.
Please, this is what I'm thinking. When you're going to press the power button for the computer to turn on, it's like you are sending a signal, which also means that it demands processing. You're asking it to do something, so the brain might still function at that particular moment.
Yeah, but
you are giving a signal that you want the machine to respond to a particular demand, of which the brain must work to do that work. So if it happens that without a brain, it is still going to function. Maybe there's another component inside built in that is going to respond to that. Or
correct. Like what you are saying, that it will not pass the post. Right? Because as soon as the physically, right? Physically, there will still be power to the computer. Right? Because the power is not down. But for the computer to process, for it to go through, for the computer to come on, that is where that issue will be. So, of course, because that the power is still connected, you will see power. But for the system to come on, fully function, for it to go through.
So, which means that the booting process will not be able to go through. The booting process will not start.
Yeah, when you go to the post, right? Power, the post is the power on self-test.
Yes.
Right? Because when you turn on the computer, it goes through the post. So when you go through the post, this one, it cannot, because the signal has to be sent. Right? So that's what I'm saying. When you look at the computer, you can, when you look at the light and the things, you will see that the power is on. The power is on, because there's difference between power is on and the system is working. Right? The power can be on, but you won't see anything on the screen. So what you would do is that where it won't be able to send the signal, the computer will be stuck. Right? The computer will be stuck. Do you understand?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is what we are trying to say over here, that sometimes it will just, you will see physical that the power is on, because there is a power button in there that says that, hey, I have power, the light is on. But for it to go through the booting process, because the booting process also requires the thinking ability. Okay.
Yes.
Any other question?
So like, but okay, fine. But you were trying to also ask whether if you move the motherboard from the case, whether the computer also respond. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a Conco something. It will nothing will come.
Yeah, this one there, it is Coco. If you remove the motherboard,
Conco is like when it come. If you remove the motherboard completely from it, completely from the computer.
yeah.
I see it to be like an empty Conco. It's a case that has nothing in it. How can it work?
Yeah, but the power, where is the power supply?
They are connected to the motherboard.
So that at that time the computer, then the power supply connects to your power, right?
Yes.
So at that time, is there power going to your computer?
Yes.
Yes. That same, remember that same power also powers the motherboard.
Yes.
Right? So
Yeah.
it powers the motherboard to power up the systems that are there.
Okay.
Right? So
Okay.
if there's no motherboard, whatever is on there cannot power up.
Yeah.
Right? Because there will be nothing connected anyway, like as Musa said. So which, in other words, one of the guys would say, is a work a year then. You have gone to buy a fake computer. They have tricked you. You have gone to just buy a small box.
It's like going to buy a mobile phone at pizza and you are giving soup or something like that.
Yeah. Then you come and do work a year day. Yeah. But
some last time I make somebody a sadik sao okoto no mano kiso.
Hey, are you sure about that?
Yeah. So there are certain things that when you look at the computer, you can just look at the way. Sometimes we will not, as we get maybe after the hardware, the software things, we will go into some of the colors that you see when the troubleshooting colors. Sometimes the blue screen, this screen, we'll go through all that. But the thing is that the motherboard is the key. The CPU is also there. So sometimes you look at the CPU and we'll also look at the RAM, the connected things on the CPU that will make the CPU function well. Okay, so there's this, the CPU has a whole lot of things connected to it, as we said. So we have the PCI cards, we have your RAM and desktop, everything connected to this. I wish we had a laptop. I wish we had an open desktop over there that we can open one. Musa, do you have one?
One is there. We have one.
Huh?
Yeah, we have one here.
Yeah, so let's open it and let's look at this. Look at the motherboard and let's look at the memory card, where it's connected to. Then you look at how much memory that is in there. And also if that memory card too is also another stuff that we can. So let's open one. Let's open one of the motherboard. Then Musa, like I said, it is your class, and I'm here just here to help a little. Then you take us through.
I'll see and check it again. Mr. Tony, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, what's it? You said we should look at where
The motherboard.
okay, is our camera clear?
Oh, no, this camera there, you look like you went to that place to go buy it.
I PZ. Okay, this year. Okay, and it's not all that clear, but let's manage it like that. Are you there with us, Mr. Tony?
Yeah, I'm here.
So this is the motherboard. Motherboard is where my hand is. The blue green board on which other components are located is the motherboard.
So yeah, so what are the other components on the motherboard? What do you see on the motherboard? You have to describe.
Countless components are there.
What?
Let me see, this is the battery. I have the battery here. I have the heat sink is here. The camera group. The group should come around. It's not like on the motherboard. Yeah, on the motherboard. So I have the batteries here. We have expansion slots around here. Heat sink is here. We have the power supply. We have the DVD room and what have you.
Please ask him questions. So ask Musa questions.
No,
because
that's his class, so we have to ask you questions. I don't know the IT master is here. You can ask him a question.
Yeah, ask Musa everybody asks Musa question because he knows a whole lot. He just don't want to teach us.
This one is the CPU.
I have the CPU here. No. Other chips. Other CPU chips. CPU, my other CPU chips are different chips. So, Mr. Tony, I have summarized everything.
Oh, okay, good. And I hope that after your summarization, they are all okay.
They are okay, and I think if there's any technical question, it will get you there.
Oh, okay. So you were able to summarize everything. Were they able to take the memory out?
Yeah, we did that the last time we met. That was the last thing we did before this finish.
Yes. So right now
we dismantled everything and then brought them back.
And brought them back, which is good.
That was the last time which we did.
Yeah. So that is the whole thing that they are able to take, because that it took us a long time to come back to. That's why we wanted to take it apart.
Yes. But this will be another whole thing. If we want to take these things out and then fix them back, it will take a lot of time all the time.
Yeah. No, that one is when you guys are sitting down there and you don't.
We'll find time and retake that again.
Yeah, and which means that you will have to teach them. You have to get the tools and anything.
Yes, maybe.
Mr. Joshua, do you have any input? Yeah, you can come up and just any input concerning what we are talking about. Mr. Joshua.
Yeah, Tony, I think you've said it all. So, I mean, at the moment, I don't really have any input.
Oh, okay. Okay, Mr. Sadiq, any input, anything that you want to add so that we'll continue?
Mr. Tony,
Yes, sir.
can we have a computer without a fan?
Oh, that is, you see, that is a good question. So you can have a computer without a fan, right? So my question to you is that the fan, right? What is the function of the fan? And what will happen to your computer if there's no fan?
I think the fan is located just beside the heat sink, right? Yeah. So that blows air to the heat sink to cool the CPU.
Yes. So if there's no fan, what is going to happen?
It means the CPU will heat and overheat and then I don't know what will happen next.
You know what will happen next.
It will explode.
Yeah. Look at your mind. If was every time, yeah, before you realize, no, you will be working and just be talking. Right? So,
yeah.
So, in other words, if the system, if the CPU start heating up, there's a word that we use there, your computer will do what? Crash.
Okay.
Right? So your computer will just, what the computer will do is the computer will crash because the computer brain is so hot. Now, what it has to do, you say, you know what, let me just crash. And the computer can crash.
Mr. Tony.
Yeah.
Please, no, we had a chance to have received some computers from the government initiative. TM1. Okay. No, Mr. Tony.
Yeah.
Though I've not really obtained, but people are saying that you don't have one in that particular TM1.
No, I didn't hear you. We didn't hear.
The laptop.
Yeah.
Called TM1.
So we are saying that we suspect that it has no fans.
Maybe on the CPU, we can, but there's no point to prove
Why do you think that there's no fun?
We don't see any ways that openings that's there's nothing.
Just other laptops.
We have openings for the air to come out. This one is very close, tight. Below the laptop is close, no nothing.
Whether there is an advanced fan that doesn't blow heat outside for you to see or something like that, or to feel.
It could be possible because sometimes have you seen the computer inside the cooling of the computer is actually water.
Okay.
Right? It's actually water that cools the CPU. So sometimes if the computer doesn't have a place that you can say there is no fan, and sometimes too when you look underneath, maybe sometimes if it's a laptop, there might be maybe there will be a fan in there somewhere, a small fan, right? There will be a small fan somewhere, because for a laptop, everything is compact.
So, Anthony,
Yeah.
so please, I was told that it's like it's the let me say the motherboard, or the motherboard in the TM1 machine is just like that of an Android version type.
Which one?
The motherboard, the TM1 machine.
Mhm.
They're saying the product is just like the Android type of phone.
You see, these days, right?
Yeah.
These days, because of right now, the computers and stuff have become like a small, right? They become small. Everything is like they want to make everything in a compact form. So sometimes they do certain they put certain devices in there its job is to cool the system, right? So of course, in the Android or for a cell phone sometimes, right? Sometimes if you put a cell phone in outside for a long time and you turn it on, the cell phone will tell you that put in a cool place, it is what?
It's hot.
It is hot. Right? It is hot. So there's a technology that also that also cool the system. But if it is not, it is in an environment that is too much, it will complain that, hey, I am about to crash because I am hot. Please put the computer or put the phone in a cooled place, right? But some of these things, it is when you open it, that is when you understand the technology that has been that is inside.
Okay.
Yeah. Or if you can able to log in and see the hardwares and stuff, that is the time that you will see what kind of advanced devices that they have put in. Right? That what kind of advanced devices. So we looked at you look at this, they have the RAM. You see this one will have the RAM, the memory, everything inside. And that memory will help you process will process whatever, how do you call it, information that is sent out. So sometimes, some people must say, wow, we there or a shabreno. If the memory can process those things faster, it's better, right? If the memory can process the things fast, it's better. So if you have sometimes, you will send a job and it will be processing. Sometimes it is not because that the computer, the thing is not there. Sometimes it has to process. So sometimes the processor to get fed up with all the things that is being processed. So your job has to wait for it to finish one process before it goes to the other. So even on your laptop, right? On your laptop, let's do the type in tax bar. You know where the tax bar is?
Are you saying we should search for taskbar?
Yeah, I'm coming to share that information with you. So tax bar, right? Tax manager, sorry. Yeah, tax manager. Oh, I don't know. Tax manager. So when you go to tax manager, I want to share my screen so that you can see. So this is tax manager, right? Look at my CPU. Look at this. Look at the memory. Do you see this? And look at all these things are running. So you can see who is using more over here. Who is using more of the CPU?
Is it a memory?
Yeah, you see over here, up here, it says
Yes.
CPU, right?
CPU.
What is using more of the CPU?
Screen sharing, something, meets and something.
Yeah, you see the screen sharing. You see what it says over here. So which means that me sharing my screen is using a lot of the CPU. And it said it's from who? It's from Zoom.
Yes.
And it is using what? Almost 26%. Right? And you can scroll down and see what is the thing that is holding. So the thing is that for my computer, I have a whole lot of things running. Right? My computer, I have a lot of things running. I have a whole lot of things running on my computer. Look at Notepad. How many Notepad do I have up? How many this? How many Teams? How many this, that? And look at what is running at the background. You see, it's a background. So on your computer, right, do the same tax manager and tell me what is using the high. So you go here and you see the percentage, what is using more on your own computer.
Okay. On our computer, we have Zoom meeting using more of the CPU.
What is the percentage?
10%. We have it fluctuates, but maybe up to 10%. Yes.
Up to 10%, right?
Yes.
So which means that what other thing is there that is using more of the computer, more of the CPU?
Go top. Maybe tax manager also takes around 2%, 1 to 2%.
Okay, 2%. Okay, let's go to the memory.
It fluctuates.
Let's go to the memory. My memory is what? 83% used. 83%. My memory is 83% used. It's just my computer, no. Yeah. It is. And what is using more of my memory?
Okay. Our memory here is the same Zoom meeting. We are 67% at the moment.
Okay.
What is using more of the memory is the Zoom meeting.
Yeah. So you, for your own, is the Zoom meeting, right?
Yes.
Your own is the Zoom meeting. Maybe. Your own is the Zoom meeting. But for me, what is using more?
Google something. Google Chrome.
Yeah, Google Chrome, right? Because I have a whole lot of things open. Look at my Google Chrome. I have a whole lot of things open, and still my Google Chrome. So you can come in here and see whatever is using a lot, and you can kill the process, right? You can kill the process. Let me give an example. If I want to kill this Google, I just go in there, click on Google, right? And you come down here. Don't do that yet, or it will, when you do that, it will take you off from Zoom. You see, if you see anything that is running, that is using more of the memory, you click on it and you come down here and you say end the task. Do you see yours?
Yeah, yes, please. So you are telling me that if I click on Zoom meeting and I end the task, it will stop the meeting right away.
It will close it. It will kick you out. It will close Zoom.
Straight up.
It's going to, yeah, it's going to close Zoom. Right? So whatever processing, okay, let me give an example. You see my own, right? Look at Teams. I click on Teams, right?
Yeah.
I click on Microsoft Teams. I'm not using it. I click on it. Then I say end task. You see that Teams is gone?
It's off.
Yeah. If I go to Fing, if I go to Fing, I'm not using Fing now, right? Then I say end, Fing is gone. Right? Of course, I can't do this over here. Why?
We are still on Zoom, right?
Yeah, I'm still on there. So if I do end, my whole session will go down.
And then we restart again.
Yeah, I am not using, of course, I can't do tax bar because I'm already using the tax manager, right? This notepad, there are certain things on here, so I don't want to do Word document. I have some Word document open. Outlook, I can close Outlook, you see? So when you select it, then you come and you end it. I think I can close Outlook. Look at Outlook. So you see Outlook is gone. You know what? Let me close this one too. This EBI training. Let me close it. Right. So sometimes the more things that you close over here will make the CPU and the memory. Look at when I close certain things, it had moved to 75. But still, this guy, Chrome, is still using a lot of my memory now. Right? It's still using a lot of my memory. The same way that you see memory, you can come to the performance of the system. So go click on your performance, how your CPU is performing.
Okay.
So you go to process, right? This is the process. Then after the process, you come to the performance and see how this thing is performing.
Yeah, we have seen it.
Yeah. So what is your uptime? You see down here, what is your uptime?
Uptime 22 hours, 55 minutes, and then 54, 55 seconds.
Yeah. You see, it said that the computer has been on for like 3 hours. Right? Because sometimes I tell it to go to sleep. look at the base speed, look at this, right? You can click down here. That will take you to another place. Click down here, open source monitor.
Open source monitor, where exactly?
No, down here, all right, underneath the time.
Yeah. Let me do that.
Right? So,
okay.
Yeah, these are things that when your computer, you feel like your computer is running slow, these are the things that you have to take a look at. You can come in here, look at okay, my computer is running slow. What is it that is processing that is making my computer run slow? Right? What is it doing? So right now, my memory is still 76. It's still high because I have a whole lot of things open in Chrome. And yeah, I have a lot of things open in Chrome. Right? So the memory is still high. So sometimes my computer will glitch a little. This when it goes to like 90, you will see that it will give me information that, hey, the memory, some of the processor will not process well because my memory is up. It will give you the notification. So sometimes if your computer is running slow, come over here, you take a look at what are the things running, right? You tell you, oh, hold on. It will tell you, you look at it, it will tell you what are the things running. So you look at the things running and you go in, and the ones that you don't want it to run, you just end the task, right? But there are some that is going to be running already in the background. Do you see the background processing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so even in the background processing, look at what is going on. In the background processing, right? This guy, AnyDex, this guy is a software that I use to do remote login. I can actually tell it that the end task. You see how you can right click. You can click on it and do right click. When you do right click, you can end the task. Right?
Okay.
I can end the task. There's another thing too that I wanted to show you over here. So this one will tell you what are the things, some of these things that runs on the background. Sometimes it helps your computer, but sometimes too, it does not. Like you see the Google crash handler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Any question? Any question?
So far, it's clear. It's clear.
No, go. Somebody was asking question. Was somebody asking a question? We can't hear.
No, please.
So what I'm trying to say is that even on the background, there are certain things that will be running in the background, right? Like this guy, for instance, AnyDex, I can close AnyDex because I don't need AnyDex to be running. Cortana, I don't need Cortana to be running, right? So these are all things that run on the background to help you. Like Google Crash Handler is there running on the background just in case there's something wrong, something happened with your Google or capture. On the top, right, on the top, you see startup. Do you see startup?
Yes.
Yeah, when you click on startup, this startup, you see how sometimes people will say that when I'm turning on my computer, it takes a longer time to start up, right? You hear people saying that, oh, when I turn on my computer, it takes longer time. I click on startup. You can actually go to each one that is there and tell it that don't start up when I start my computer. So example, this guy, the net extender, right? I can click on net extender and say that, hold on. You see, when I click on net extender, you see that status is what? Enabled. So it's saying that anytime that I restart my computer, go through all these processes and start it up. And sometimes that can make your computer run slow, right? So I can go to it like net extender, this one is my VPN, right? I can right click on it and say that, hey, disable, look. You can right click on it and say enable, and it will enable. So I say that anytime I restart my computer, this guy don't start up. So disable. So there are certain things like Teams. Teams is already disabled. OneDrive. There are certain things that I leave on. This guy was my was my printer. So that one, I like my printer to be always on when I start a. This one is my software, my phone software. You see that I disabled it. I want any decks to start afresh, to start whenever I restart it. That one too is enabled. So whatever is enabled is what is going to have a start. Look at WhatsApp. I told WhatsApp anytime I restart, don't come up. But I have to go in and enable you that, okay, WhatsApp can come on. Any question? Like this guy, like Skype. I'm going to disable Skype.
I just disabled my own too.
Yeah, I want to disable Skype. So I have disabled Skype. Any questions?
So far, the answer everything is clear.
Everything is clear, right?
So,
Everything is clear because it's very important. Anytime that your computer is running slow, right? Go to the task manager and start from here, the processor, the disk. Sometimes you will see this is the users who is using, if you have multiple people on your computer, this one is me, right? It's my default. Look at who, look, it means that I'm using a lot. When I come to details, right? Look at the things running. Right? Look at the things running. How many Google stuff is running? Do you see Google stuff running? A lot. So you can use this to fix your problem. Right? And it will tell you the services that is running. If you don't want any service to run, you can stop it. You can stop the service. This is how you stop the service on my right side. You can right click on it and it says stop, start, or it don't run. Okay. But any questions about this?
It's very clear.
It's very clear, right? So, yeah, it's very clear. So we have this guy over here that I told you, you always have to look at, so my screen, it will go to, when I come, look at me sharing my screen. If I start to move my screen back and forth, it's going to go high. So you have this guy that is high. We have Microsoft Edge, which is also high over here. I have a Microsoft Office. I have almost 10 of them open. Look at the Microsoft Office that I have open. Right? So I have a whole lot of Microsoft Office open. So that is why you see Microsoft Office that it also is high. Look at the notepad. Look at how many notepad I have open. So of course, notepad, it will say that, hey, you have all this notepad, it's using 0.5 of the memory. This is what it's using. You remember this guy?
Yes.
Look at him also using what?
Which one? Which one?
This guy.
Not so clear, but I don't want with resources and performance center.
Yeah, that is the guy that when we were in here, that is the one that we clicked.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, that is the one that we clicked. And when you click on that, this is what you get. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
What is there?
The resource monitor.
Yeah, you see. So these are, and look at how it is measuring for you on the right side. And it will tell you that, hey, all these things have been suspended. But look at Zoom. Zoom meeting is still running.
Yes.
And the CPU that is using is what? 20. Look at this person is using 1. But you see how Zoom is taking a lot. So you can go down, and let me see where Chrome will say. This guy, I have to disable this personas. You see that status is running. And when it runs, it comes over here and tell you that, oh, this is your CPU usage. Look at what it say that my maximum, the frequency. So when we come to Google and its stuff, then when you come to the services, you see over here, you come to services. Services also would tell you that what is running. Look at all these things running. All this thing is running. Then associate, right? Then from that, you come to this, my people over here. Let me show you. So sometimes these things are very good for troubleshooting your computer, right? These things are very good. The memory, it will tell you, okay, look at my memory now. A hardware reserve, right? It's just this little one right here. In use is where all this green is in use. How much is left is right here. This how much is left. So
107 megabytes.
yeah, in other words, my computer is very full. When you see my computer is so full that one may, yeah, then it comes to the disks, the storage. It tells you that you have only you have 2 storage devices, links over there. It tells you that this is the disk, and most of the time, yeah, you might not do a whole lot, but let me close it. But the main reason is that this guy, Jack, where are you? I am here. So this guy, so when we open the open resource monitor and in our CPU, the processing unit, it showed up here. So hey, if I say end tax, it will just go away. Any questions? Any questions? Because I have some minutes to do. Let me bring my, where am I? I think I'm here. This is my Chrome. Yeah. So you know that we haven't even talked about here, right? We haven't talked about this front here.
We discussed about them the last time we met.
Okay, then if we discuss, please, please, Musa, since we discussed, please take us to school on this, Musa. Just remind us. So let's go. Huh? So yeah, so Musa, tell us. So we discussed. So just tell us more about it. This is a reminder, a refresher course. So you can tell the team, and please ask Musa a whole lot of questions. I'm telling you, he knows a whole lot.
Mr. Tony, we were all present here when you taught us.
But because look, Yako, we went for Christmas and we came back. I don't know how many chichinga that you ate. Yeah, we went for Christmas, so sometimes we can forget.
Okay, maybe you can brush us through, but we know some of them, but others you know, yeah, they are probably chichinga.
Yeah, so since this thing, so we will talk as we go through certain things, we will be talking more about it. But I want this thing, Joshua, are you there? Let me stop sharing my screen so that remember that we said that we'll be talking about the software aspect of things, right? So we will do a little introduction. We might not, it's only getting to, I was going to say 6 o'clock. It is getting to, it is getting to 6 o'clock, which is 11 o'clock in Ghana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
scheduled to close at 11 or so.
yeah. So, Joshua, you can come in and do a little introduction of the software aspect and also what we plan to do, so that the next time you come to class, we will go over some homework that will be on the screen. The homework was going to be about the component, all the components of the computers, and you have to label it and come up with understanding. Then, so whatever Joshua is going to say is an introduction for next class. So Joshua, you can come off screen. You can, let me give you admin right to also co-host so that you can share your screen. Are you there? Mr. Joshua? Joshua, where are you? Let me see if it's I'm coming in. So before he's come, I know that he's getting himself ready. So we wanted to go through and talk about the software version, the software we are done. When I say the software, the Microsoft Office, right? the Microsoft Office. So we wanted to just go through it. I know that sometimes people don't use they use Word, they use Word and stuff. So, but they don't know how to actually use it to be effective. So that is why we wanted you guys to go through it. Let me see if here. So if Joshua is still, if you can hear me, you can just do the introduction. We only have like maybe 15 minutes left. You can do the introduction of what we are going to talk about the next time that we meet.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
You can share your screen too. I've given you a.
So, all right. Let me quickly share my screen.
So this class is going to be hands-on too, more of hands-on. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So I believe you can all see my screen.
The words are a little bit small, but I think if Musa can see, look at Musa, the way he's putting his head inside the monitor.
Okay, so let me zoom it. Let me just zoom it. Let me finish with the setup. Okay, let me see.
Yeah,
Is it better? Is it better?
Yeah, it's okay.
So guys, I'll need your engagement so that I know that I am presenting it to you guys. If you can see what is in there.
Musa was putting his head inside the monitor.
Okay.
Yeah, his head was going inside the monitor.
Yeah, it's clear, so we can see what
it's clear. Okay. So basically, I would like to just introduce myself, and then I would also introduce what we will be doing from our next meetings. So there is just this that I want to also know from you guys, your expectations when it comes to Microsoft Word for the beginners level. So if I'm able to know the target audience and then the kind of instructions that I'll be giving out, I'm very glad. So what are your expectations, guys? So Idra team, please, what are our expectations for the Microsoft Word training? Are we in there? I am not hearing anyone. Okay, so I'm on camera now. So ideas. Ideas. What is your expectation when it comes to Microsoft Word 2016? I strongly believe that we've all used Microsoft Word before, for instance, drafting documents and then all of that. So I would like to know your expectation for this particular presentation.
Oh, okay, but you. Mr. Joshua,
Yes, yes, sir.
I think you have to lay the scope for us, right?
Okay,
Maybe what
all right.
maybe what you are presenting to us,
Okay,
you have something to say, then we say.
okay, that's fine. So yeah, so I'm Joshua. So I'm a technical cloud consultant and a Microsoft community activist. So I lead a team here in Ghana. The community that we have built in Ghana, which is Microsoft User Group Ghana. And my expertise are in Microsoft Dynamics. I do more of Microsoft 365, Microsoft Azure, all the cloud platforms. So there is Google Cloud, there is Yandex Cloud. And my specializations are in systems admin, Microsoft Dynamics, and digital transformation, technical support. I love doing technical writing and all those stuff. I love doing tech mentorship. I love speaking. I love doing IT consulting and all of that. And I happen to be one of the Microsoft Azure community hero, and I am a self-learner, front-end web developer. And I also happen to be a STEM Ghana educator. So yeah, that is something. About me. So the tech guys who intend with Microsoft them to write a story about my training and then all of that. So yes. So
Charlie Joshua, you are a big guy. You are a big guy. Let the dollars flow, man.
Okay. So let me see. Yes. So these are the learning objectives. Doing identify, then you'll be looking at the features, you know.
I think the screen is small, or it is my eyes.
Paragraphs, alignments, and all those stuff, headers and elements, and then how you can format. Why enlarging it? Because I'm not really used to mostly use Microsoft Teams. So okay, I think I've found a way around it. So can we see if it's still not small? Because I've zoomed it. Please, are we okay with what is being projected on the screen?
So it means that in the hello, Mr. Joshua.
Yes, sir.
In fact, you mean you are going to start with Word. Is that not what we are doing? Word 2016.
Yeah. Word 2016.
Okay.
So we would be looking at the whole aspect of Word 2016, the interface, you know, the features and then all of that. But as it stands now, Microsoft Word is a big platform. So there is Microsoft 365 inbuilt apps for enterprise companies. But looking at our level, I want us to just look at the Microsoft Word 2016, which I think is widely distributed to almost all of us. There is the 2019 version. I think there is the 2020 version as well. But then we would be looking at the 2016.
Yeah, so what?
So if I can...
What version do they have on their laptop?
So what version? Yes, so what version do you guys have in your...
Well, we have the 2010 version.
The 2010 version. Okay. All right, that is fine. So
unless maybe we may install, if you want us to use the 16, we may install.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. So I think in our next meeting, because we will not be having the hands-on experience today.
Yes.
Because of time and then all of that. So when I finish with just this quick presentation, then we can still work together so that I can help you guys to install the 2016 on your laptops or at the lab and all of that. That makes sense, right? It makes sense. Okay. All right. So the one I'm projecting now is the learning objectives. That is what we would be looking at. Okay. So for us to be set up, I would like you guys to install Microsoft Word 2016 on their devices. If it's a laptop, you can install the 2016 version of Microsoft Word, where you get all the Office apps. So the Office apps is the Word. We also have Excel. We also have the PowerPoint slides and then all of that. So I would ask you guys to set yourself up for our next training. So when we begin, we would actually have a lot of time to learn, ask questions, engage ourselves, and then all of that. So I'm here in Ghana, so we can be interacting a lot. Tony and Letitia, they are outside the country.
Mr. Joshua, where specifically?
I'm in Accra.
Accra.
Hopefully the next time you will see him at Ejura. No, I'm saying that maybe next time you will see him at Ejura.
That would be very nice.
So I have a question. So they will install the 2016, right?
Yes.
But when it asks them for a key, a product key.
Okay, Tony. So what I will do is that I would create a user for them.
Okay.
For a Jira lab, and then I will send them the necessary details for them to log in onto the Office portal. So, and one user we can install it on 5 devices.
Okay.
Maybe I may have to create a dummy account for them, like so we may have to know the number of people who are coming and how we can distribute this particular software to them. So I may have to also confirm the coordinator so that I have another interaction with the coordinator at Ejura. Okay. This would help fast track the distribution of the software.
Okay.
So with that,
is that software transferable?
That they will have access. Yes. So it's one user, we can install it on 5 devices.
Okay.
Yes. So the coordinator should assist me with the name of the lab, and then his details, his contact details after this particular presentation. So I would make sure that it's being done till we meet for this particular training. So there'll be demos, there'll be hands-on experiences, and then all of that. Please, is there any other question that you would like to ask? Or if there's any other thing that you would like to know?
Oh, for now we know your name, where you come from, and why you are coming to teach us. So we may not have questions for now because you have not said much.
Okay. So let me introduce you to my mentor. So Abu Konde is my mentor. So he is Microsoft MVP. So when I say Microsoft MVP, that is Microsoft most valuable professional. So he is my mentor, and he does more of cloud and then infrastructure security. And he's in France. He's working with Avanti, one of the top tech companies. So he is my mentor when it's come to Microsoft Cloud. And one thing I would also like you guys to also know is that there are platforms that you could get connections and then engage with other people whilst you are teachers, or because we feel that Ghanaians, we don't value teachers. That is what a lot of people feel. But then without teachers, what kind of knowledge are we impacting to the younger generations? We really need teachers to be abreast with technology. So I would be introducing you guys to a lot of platforms that you'll be using to have your self-studies and then all of that. Because if you guys are having that kind of knowledge, you'll be able to impact that knowledge to the students and then all of that. Okay, so somewhere in 2019, I started this blog where I used to blog about technologies and then the kind of events I organize. So this is just a blog I some years ago, but also I would like every one of you help you to put connections out there, like professionals. When I say you are working, you are a professional. So this particular platform is the Microsoft User Group Ghana platform. So this picture was taken some years ago, so you can see me right there. And it's a big community that we have built to just empower younger generation. Not everyone. I mean, it's there for everyone. So our main focus is on Microsoft technologies. And so the purpose of the group is to share most of our real world experiences, information about the latest product offerings from Microsoft. You know, now we are in a digital age that we have machine learning models. We have AIs, that is artificial intelligence, and then all of that. So we try to, by the professionals having the expertise and all of that, we bring them on board to train everyone. So you can also join as well if you want to learn about most of Microsoft's products.
Everybody can join us.
Okay, so back to my presentation. Yeah, Tony.
Yes, hello.
Yeah. So I am actually done with the introduction and then all of that. Because if we are supposed to continue, we are going to, because we don't have, from the information I've gotten from them, they are using the 2010 version of Microsoft Word. So I am done with the introduction and then everything.
Yeah, so thank you, Mr. Joshua. And as he was saying, that this class will be more of hands-on and stuff, and your laptop will be much more needed. So there is some things that we have to do, and maybe the next time that we meet, that is when we'll go through that installation stage. That hopefully everybody will install 2016 on their laptop, then we'll take it from there. So we all understand, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Musa, any questions before we call it a day?
I think we got
No, I couldn't hear you. If anyone has any questions, now is the time. If not, then we tell ourselves adios.
So I wanted to ask Musa, how is the teacher attendance like to the program?
Yeah, not all that, because the number of people who subscribe to attend were not all here. And we have about 10, 12 teachers around here. Adi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
So we have about 12 teachers here.
Okay. All right. I see in Nkwanta Primary School, Nkwanta 2, are people joining from there or somebody just, because I remember sometime we had a lab around that area.
Yeah, someone is using the laptop.
Okay. All right, then that's fine. Thank you.
And let me just come in. So with Ejura, also, if you have any kind of issues, you can relay it to me pertaining internet connectivity, those kind of stuff, like any kind of issue. I mean, with the devices that you guys have in there, and we could see how best we could solve it. If it's viable, then we can come in to help solve this kind of issue. So if you guys are facing any particular issue, please let us know.
Mr. Joshua.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for your interest. About your blog and some of the portals that you have shared with us. How do you subscribe to them?
And one thing we should also take note of is the Google Classroom. So that is going to be one of our monitoring platform. When there are assignments and then all of that, we would like you guys to keep your eyes on in there, because that is the platform that we are going to use to evaluate most of the teachers or everyone who joins the meeting. Is going to help us track people who are joining in for trainings and then all of that. I want to believe if Musa, are you currently the coordinator at a Jira?
Not really. Prof is the coordinator, but it's currently not here, so I may assume the position for now.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's fine.
And the portal, your portal, there's the blog portal or something. If one wants to join, how are we going to join if I want to join?
I didn't get a question, please.
Your portal.
You mean my blog?
Your blog portal or something. If someone wants to join, I want to know how. Is it I will only search for you and join, or how is it?
Okay, so honestly, my blog is not really updated. It's not updated. I'll be working on a lot of projects, so it's not really updated. So you just search for. Let me drop it in the chat box. So you can follow me in here, where probably I'll keep it up and running this year. Let me drop it in the chat. So when you search for Mina Joshua at wordpress.com, you have access to this particular portal. Let me drop it in the chat box. And hey, you guys should also be visiting this particular page. So that is the Expanding Boundaries website. That is the official website.
Okay.
And also you can follow us on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and then LinkedIn. And every training that we do is being streamed live on YouTube. So whilst you join, you can also share, because if you share, maybe someone will be interested that would also join. It makes sense, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So be visiting this particular web page for information. Aside the trainings, we also do a whole lot of stuff as well. So we have programs, go abroad programs, and then all of that. So will be very okay if you also visit the website and then be abreast with some of this information. As we always say, information is key, right?
Yeah.
Let me drop this one in here as well, so you can really see.
What we would do is that all this information, since we are all part of the EBI,
I'll drop the websites on the chat box. So once you click, yeah,
we are all part of the EBI training hub, right? The WhatsApp page that we have. So, and I think that Joshua, you are on that WhatsApp page. Are you on the EBI WhatsApp page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see that on the
Permission to, you can put it over.
Yeah, I am.
Right, we can put it over there for
okay.
To say we have the ICT training hub, right? So we can put some of this information there for them to see how we also, through the EBI, want to like change lives and bring training and stuff. So you can put it over there when we get the chance. Yeah. If you put it in the chat, they might not, maybe, I don't know, but when it is in their WhatsApp, it will be more useful. Or I didn't say it well. Yeah, so let's drop it on their WhatsApp page so that we will all on the EBI. Yeah, so we'll all be working from.
Okay.
Okay.
So I noticed that it has been limited to admins because of what people post in there.
Correct. Yeah, correct. So what we will do is that we will talk so that we can be like some of these things we can just be putting on there because it is all part of the learning. And if we want to improve life, these are things that so we might give you an admin right so that you can put those things there.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. Any more questions? Any more questions? Siddiq, any questions from the?
Mr. Ideas, whilst your name is Ideas, I think there are a lot of ideas that you have in there.
You know, whether if we have.
Yeah, Musa has a whole lot of ideas.
I think if you have some
Sadiq is muted. He's muted.
You don't have.
I can see that.
You don't have any ideas now.
In our next meeting, we'll share more ideas.
I think I seems in the absence of his ideas, I think I've got an idea worth sharing. And what's happening is, I mean, I'm particular about teacher attendance, okay, because I believe there's a lot of resources that is being put to get this up right. And sometimes the African mentality allows for, let's say, dissipation of resources. So hard-earned money will be put into supporting people who may not be ready for it, right? So I was thinking that could it be okay, fine, in as much as we want it to be municipal-wide training, why won't we narrow the number to say 10 people who are serious and will want to, I mean, they will be chasing us for their training, you know, instead of us chasing them. Because if we are chasing them, it's like they don't know the value of it. But when we create a system where they will be following us, it will look like they are sort of hungry for something. Yeah, so that's what I have been thinking. I don't know whether that will be at the management level, you know, so that we can consider such approach, you know, because it feels like it doesn't always allow us to be able to, you know, to do a lot of things in a fast way, you know. That's my
okay.
My £1 thought.
Okay. Yeah, so that one we will discuss about that one and see how we will take this thing to the next level. Because like we said, 22 people sign up, and I don't know how many are in the center now. Unless Musa will write his report and will let us know. Yeah. So I think that I'll wait for them to come. I think they just drop. When they come, then
They just drop.
Yeah. When they come, then we'll just drop for the day. So I'm going to end the recording now, so that we will start. And let me end the YouTube recording. Then we will start in